How many times have you caught yourself thinking that, to be happy, you need something or someone? That, to feel confident, you need the approval of others? Sound familiar? The truth is that many of us spend our lives believing in ideas that keep us from true inner peace. And often, we don't even stop to question these beliefs. Today, let's together deconstruct some of the biggest myths about happiness and self-confidence, using Buddhist teachings as a new lens to see the world. Let's see that happiness and self-confidence can be much closer than we imagine, within ourselves. Myth: happiness depends on others. How many times have we heard that to be happy we need someone by our side? Friends, family, a loving partner. Does our happiness really depend on others? Buddhist lesson: peace comes from within, don't look for it outside. Let's reflect. If our happiness depends on something external, we are always at the mercy of circumstances and people that we do not control. It's like building a house on unstable ground. It could collapse at any moment. Deconstruction and explanation. Buddhist teaching invites us to look within, to find peace and contentment where it really matters, in our own hearts. Instead of seeing relationships as the source of our happiness, how about seeing them as a reflection of the happiness that already exists within us? Practical example. Today, make a list of the things you enjoy about your own company. Then, take a few minutes to be with yourself, without distractions. Take a deep breath and ask yourself, what can I offer myself right now? Myth: success needs to be compared. Many of us have been taught to measure our success against the success of others. That feeling that we are falling behind when we see someone achieving something we haven't achieved yet. But does true success need to be compared? Buddhist lesson: health is the greatest gift, contentment is the greatest wealth. This phrase reminds us that the value of success is not in how it compares to others, but in how it makes us feel. If we live trying to achieve what others have achieved, we are always in a cycle of dissatisfaction. On the other hand, when we find contentment in what we already have, success becomes a genuine, internal experience, not a competition. Deconstruction and explanation. Instead of basing ourselves on the success of others, Buddhism teaches us to seek contentment as the greatest form of wealth. This means finding value in our achievements, regardless of what others have or have done. It is a path of gratitude, where each step is a personal victory, not a trophy to be displayed. Practical example: choose a recent achievement, no matter how small it may seem. It could be something like organizing a space, learning something new, or finishing an important task. Take a deep breath and take a moment to appreciate this. Think about the effort you've put in and feel genuinely grateful. With each achievement, without comparisons, celebrate your own journey. Myth: external recognition defines our value. How many times have you felt like your worth was in someone else's hands? That it would only be good enough if it received praise, approval? This myth makes us believe that we need external validation to feel worthy. But is this really true? Buddhist lesson: you yourself, as much as anyone else in the universe, deserve your love and affection. This teaching reminds us that our worth is not something that can be given or taken away by others. It is intrinsic, it is part of who we are. When we seek external recognition, we end up giving away our personal power, becoming dependent on other people's opinions. But Buddhism teaches us that self-love is a powerful practice, capable of strengthening us from the inside out. Deconstruction and explanation. Real value arises from our relationship with ourselves. It's about having affection and respect for who we are, even with our flaws and imperfections. When we truly accept ourselves, external recognition becomes just a bonus, not a necessity to validate our existence. Practical example. Today, take a few minutes to practice self-compassion. Think about something you did recently that you're still beating yourself up about. Imagine that a dear friend told you about this situation. What words of support would you say to him? Now say those same words to yourself. Accept that the value you have is already within you, regardless of what others say. Myth: being alone is a problem. Many are afraid of loneliness, associating being alone with a problem or failure. But does solitude really represent something negative, or could it be an opportunity for something greater? Buddhist lesson: meditate, live purely, be calm. You will find strength in solitude. The idea that being alone is something to be avoided arises from the fear of the unknown, of being with our own thoughts, emotions, and vulnerabilities. But for Buddhism, solitude is a sacred space where we find what is truest within us. It is in this state that we discover authentic peace, free from the influence and judgment of others. Deconstruction and explanation. Instead of seeing loneliness as the absence of company, Buddhism teaches us to see it as the presence of oneself. In solitude, we develop self-knowledge, compassion, and clarity about what really matters. Loneliness stops being a void and becomes an opportunity to fill ourselves. Practical example: try taking a break in your day, stepping away from your cell phone and social media. Sit quietly, perhaps even outdoors, and breathe deeply. Allow yourself to just be with you. Feel the comfort of your own presence and notice how, as you embrace this aloneness, you feel stronger and more at peace. Myth: we must always please others to be loved. How many times have you thought that you need to please everyone to be loved? This myth leads us to believe that love and acceptance are conditioned on how much we do for others, even if it comes at the cost of our own well-being. Buddhist lesson: better than 1,000 empty words is one word that brings peace. This teaching invites us to reflect on the true value of our actions. In Buddhism, the act of pleasing others is only meaningful when it is authentic, when it comes from a place of inner peace rather than the need for approval. We don't need to sacrifice who we are or our truths to be loved. When we act genuinely, our actions speak deeply and create true connections. Deconstruction and explanation: instead of seeking to please everyone, Buddhism teaches us to cultivate actions and words that promote peace. When we do this, the love we receive is sincere, as it comes from who we really are and not from an effort to please or meet external expectations. This is the essence of true love, one that does not require the sacrifice of our own truth. Practical example: today, when interacting with someone, ask yourself, am I acting this way to please or because I truly believe it? Try to express yourself authentically, even if it's something small. Notice how, by acting this way, you feel more connected to yourself and others in a much lighter and truer way. Throughout this video, we explore some of the most common myths about happiness and self-confidence, unraveling them with Buddhist wisdom. We have seen that true happiness does not depend on others, that success does not need comparisons, that our value is innate and does not depend on external recognition, that solitude can be a powerful ally, and that true love does not require us to sacrifice our essence to please others. These teachings show us a path that goes beyond external expectations and pressures, a path inward, where inner peace and self-knowledge become the greatest sources of happiness. True freedom lies in accepting, valuing, and trusting who you are, without depending on standards imposed by the world around you. Now, I invite you to reflect. Which of these myths has been part of your life? Which one do you still believe in? Share in the comments. Your comment may inspire others to question their own beliefs. And if this content made you think differently, subscribe to the channel for more reflections and Buddhist teachings that can transform your daily life. Leave it in the comments. Which teaching resonated most with you? How do you apply or face these situations in your daily life? Let's grow together and build a community of mutual support and learning. If this video brought value to you, support the channel by leaving a like and sharing it with someone who can also benefit from these teachings. This way, more people will have access to this message. And if you're not yet part of our community, sign up and activate the bell to receive more content like this. The journey continues now. You can choose one of the videos on the screen to dive into new teachings and practices. And if you're looking for something deeper for your routine, access the ebook with 30 quick Zen meditations that can transform your daily life. The link is pinned in the first comment. Thank you for walking with me this far, and until the next journey, may you find the peace and happiness that already resides within you. See you in the next video.